Inkster, Detroit. Welcome back to the family. Coming to you live from wherever you are listening to this show. Whether you're in your car, on your computer, at your desk, on your phone, hanging out with your friends, watching us live on YouTube, or listening to your podcast, it's the Revert Radio Show, broadcasting from the studios of 1440 AM WMKM Detroit with your host, Abdullah.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd, as we always start our show every day, all the time, by the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most high, the most merciful, the especially merciful. I thank you for being with us today. It's another day, another show, another brother with us, alhamdulillah. We have today with us in the studio, Brother Sabree. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Come closer to me so you can be seen better, inshallah. Brother Sabree was with us in the beginning of this Revert channel. He was our first guest and person that we interviewed here on this channel. Alhamdulillah, that was a while back, 2015, 5 years ago. SubhanAllah. Time be running, man, for real.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. But we're here today. We're still alive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with new days, new experiences, new friends, new of everything. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And you're still doing your thing, mashallah, Brother Sabree.
Mashallah.
Allahumma barik. We're going to introduce you again to everybody who's watching or who's listening. Everybody, we have listeners on 1440 AM on the radio here in Detroit. Anybody that wants to call, the number is 313-871-9656. And you also can contact us by coming through to the YouTube channel or Facebook. You can hashtag the Revert Show, hashtag the Revert Radio Show, and you'll be able to find us easily, inshallah, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and podcasts, inshallah. Brother Sabree, tell us a little bit about yourself. Bismillah.
Bismillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. First, I bear witness that there's no deity worthy of worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger and servant. I'm a Muslim for about at least almost 40 years.
40 years, mashallah.
Yeah, from the time we always had we practiced monotheism in the household. That's what was introduced to me.
Mashallah.
Before we knew anything about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the name Allah. That was the way my mother raised me.
And she
claimed, well, early on she said we were Protestant or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't really, we went to whatever was practiced in the community, we were allowed to go around that.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't make us be a part of anything, but we went to Catholic Sunday school,
right.
Baptist church. We went to the Kingdom Hall with the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, okay.
Those were our neighbors,
Right.
So we were wherever anybody was worshiping, we were around.
You were looking for the truth.
Yeah, mashallah. My parents were, trying to direct us, in the right direction. Trying to make us be God conscious,
right.
To recognize that this whole thing didn't just happen haphazardly,
mm-hmm.
To get us in tune with worshiping God.
Right.
As best as they could, on the right path.
Mashallah. Alhamdulillah. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for parents like that.
Yes.
Even though they weren't on the right path, subhanAllah, but they were always seeking.
Always seeking.
And it was something that was very nice that you told me in the interview. It's in the description below. That's something that your mom was always telling you when it comes to worshiping.
Oh, when I was about 8 years old,
mm-hmm.
and my mother told me, she said, "I want to teach you prayer." She said, "I want you to start praying." I said, "Okay, Ma." She said, "But I want to tell you this. I want you to I want you to pray to God and God alone. He said, I don't want you can't pray to Isa. Isa is another name for Jesus. But you can pray for him.
Uh-huh.
And that's what she told me at 8 years old. I don't know if she knew, that was setting me up for Islam, for believing in Allah and worshiping Allah alone and not praying to any of Allah's messengers and prophets.
Right.
Because Jesus is a messenger and a prophet who we honor and love, just like we honor and love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Mm-hmm.
But she taught me to pray to God alone. That there were no intermediaries between me and worshiping God.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
And after that, later in life, when my father professed La ilaha illallah and he introduced it to me, I was kind of already acclimated to
MashaAllah.
that understanding.
MashaAllah. Allahumma barik. This is amazing, man. And we get comments from the brothers and sisters who are listening, the Arab speaking brothers and sisters, and they kind of like to know the story behind our show. So real quick, I'm gonna translate in a couple of seconds the background that you just mentioned. ببضع دقائق إن شاء الله سأذكر لكم قصة الأخ صبري جزاه الله خير لوجوده معنا. إسلامه كان ما شاء الله قبل 40 سنة، وكانت أمه التي يعني شجعته في هذه الواجهة أو الاتجاه. وكانت من الأشياء اللي يذكرها، يعني من الأشياء اللي يعني تخطر في بالي أكثر شيء، هي سبحان الله وهو عمره 8 سنوات كانت تقول له أنا أريدك أن تصلي، أو أنا بدي إياك تصلي بالعامية، ولكن لا تصلي إلا لله فقط. وهي ما كانت سبحان الله مسلمة، كانت نصرانية، كانت تبحث عن كل الديانات وتصلي في كل الأماكن الموجودة في الكنائس القريبة منهم المجاورة. وكانت تقول له لا تصلي لعيسى عليه الصلاة والسلام، إذا أردت أن تصلي أو تدعو أدعو له، يعني اطلب من الله الخالق أو الرب بالخير له وما شابه ذلك. فسبحان الله كان هذا الشيء من أساسيات حياته، وكانت أيضا الخطوة الأولى في حياته التي أوصلته إلى هذه المرتبة أو المكان له اللي فيها الآن الحمد لله رب العالمين. So subhanallah, that's an amazing story, even though we haven't had the time to go throughout the entire story, but this is just an introductory regarding this. So your job currently is in food.
In the
you're a chef,
culinary arts. Yeah,
culinary
right.
arts, mashallah, as we mentioned in the title of the YouTube video.
Right.
You do it all, mashallah.
Pretty much, yeah.
From A to Z, fixing, preparing, getting everything ready, presentable, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. Mashallah. So before we get into that, we are going to play the track that we usually play for our sponsors, and brother Sabree is one of our sponsors. Jazakallah khair. We thank him very much for being kind sponsor to our show, and we'll talk about his sponsorship in just a second.
Baked by Baba, introducing a variety of nut crumb cobbler custard with fruit-filled pies. All pies are made with a variety of nuts crumbed together in a wheat crumb crust filled with custard variations like cream cheese custard, banana custard, sweet potato or butternut squash custard, mango custard, just to name a few, and topped off with different fruit toppings like pineapple, blueberry, strawberry, apple, and many more. My mouth is watering just talking about it. The size of these pies is 7 inches by 2 inches and selling at only $7.99. That's right, $7.99. 2 pies for $15. 2 or more pies get a free delivery, and only $3 for delivery if you order in only a single pie. Get yours today. Get it quick. You haven't tasted a pie unless it was baked by Baba. Call now, 313-247-7391. 313-247-7391. Make your orders now, 313-247-7391. And they are ready for big orders as well. Baked by Baba.
MashaAllah, my mouth is watering just listening to that. And looking at this right now, we finally was able to have a brother bring it through. MashaAllah, this is how it looks. It's really heavy. How much it weighs, MashaAllah?
Almost 2 pounds.
MashaAllah.
It's a lot of pie in that little package.
It's a big pie, MashaAllah. If you like pies, this is where it's at. This is exactly where it's at. I don't know if you can see it real good, but it's it's fulfilling, mashallah. I'm telling you, Allahumma barik. And this is not just to show. This is real. I had it. I tasted it. Allahumma barik. You try to, you work hard to try to perfect the ingredients in pies like this, mashallah, and you take your time researching and kind of mixing and tasting, checking and testing out stuff like that.
Right, a lot of that.
So subhanallah. So when it comes to food in Islam, and I mentioned that in the title to kind of bring the person to think, what is culinary arts? First of all, what is it to you, like in definition?
Oh, personally?
Yeah.
For me, it's an outlet, or an artistic outlet, because I came up in junior high school drawing and painting. That was my forte.
Okay.
Because I met my culinary arts teacher in high school, and it was another outlet for me because I had an inclination for preparing food anyway. Because I'm the oldest of six, so sometimes I'd be in the kitchen making food for my siblings,
business,
experimenting.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, it's an outlet for me. It's a creative outlet for me.
Hold on one second. Hey, the mic is off. The mic is off. Mic. Can you hear it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a creative.
Speak up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a creative outlet for me. With the culinary art.
MashaAllah. That's what's up. So I know we're having some difficulties here every once in a while, but it's all right. We keep it going, inshallah. So basically, you were one of the people who were always taking care of business when it came to your family and trying to feed them and making sure that everybody is well taken care of, and also at the same time just tasting and testing, right, and doing a few experiments.
I always had an inclination to make things up,
Right, mashallah. That's what's up. So when it comes to Islam, what's culinary arts to you? When it comes to Islam, what do you look at when Islam is mentioned when it comes to food and eating and stuff like that?
First and foremost, what's halal?
What's halal?
What's permissible for the Muslim to eat? What Allah has decided that's best for us,
right,
for the family of Adam to eat. And how we go about attaining that from raising it, from the livestock, how we take care of the livestock, how we prepare for sacrifice, and how we prepare to be eaten, and then, how we proceed to how we always be conscious and mindful of Allah,
right,
in every process, and thankful along the way, before and after.
Yeah. One of the things that we have to mention, subhanAllah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's messenger always made sure that he reminded us to say Bismillah upon food, upon slaughtering, when you're cooking, when you're preparing food and all that good stuff. SubhanAllah, everything is by the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be upon everything that we eat and that we consume, because without the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is really, things are not helpful, they're not healthy, they're not good, they're not enough, all that stuff, you know what I mean? SubhanAllah. So that's number one. Number two, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam always mentioned to us to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. When we finish eating, we say Alhamdulillah. When we finish the work that we do, or we see the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our work, then we say Alhamdulillah. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praise be to him, because he's the one that's worthy of being praised, because he is the one that's worthy of being worshipped as well.
Even if we forget, we say Bismillah wa falaqah.
Yeah, if we forget, yeah, we say Bismillah fi awwalihi wa akhirihi. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, in the beginning and in the end of our meal, what it is that we're eating. Alhamdulillah. So also another important thing is, let's say when it comes to meat, when we slaughter the meat, or we slaughter the cow that we're about to eat, or the sheep or the goat or whatever it is that we have in front of us. An important situation that we have to be put in, and we put that animal in, is in an environment that, first of all, other animals won't see it while it's being slaughtered. Second of all, the slaughter got to be done appropriately and real quick, so it doesn't suffer and doesn't feel the pain at all. And the knife has to be so sharp that it doesn't feel any pain, again, as we mentioned. And that's also another way. This is the beginning of preparation for the food.
Right.
You know what I mean? Also, what we can eat and what we can't eat. So other things like that you can mention to us, as you are the professional in this field, mashallah.
As most people know, and associate with Muslims, most people know right off the back, we don't eat khanzir, we don't eat pork. We don't eat
khanzir, no pork.
Swine is not permissible for us.
Yeah.
And but outside of that, there's a wide range of everything else that we can eat. We can't eat swine. We can't eat stuff that's been like roadkill.
Roadkill.
We can't eat roadkill, or things that have suffered a headlong fall off of a cliff or something like that, or something that has been bludgeoned to death. It's because some of the practices that are done in the slaughterhouses, may render food impermissible for us to eat. Like they have a practice where they take blanks and they shoot the cattle in the head to kill
right.
them. Even though we don't eat pig, they bludgeon them. They hit them over the head with some type of baton or a sledgehammer. Those are inhumane ways. Even if the pig was permissible for us, and though it is not, we couldn't eat it because of the way that it's being killed.
Right.
In the slaughtering houses.
Right.
And as far as anything in the sea is permissible for us.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to eat whatever is in the sea, from the animals in the sea, like a whale, like a shark, like a fish, whatever it is that you can fish out, you can eat it.
That's right.
Alhamdulillah. So if you're hunting out there and you come, across a deer that's laying down, then you can't just pick it up because it's been dead for.
If he's been killed by an animal,
mm-hmm.
or gorged by an animal, then we were supposed to leave that animal alone.
Leave it be for the other animals to eat it if they
like
need to.
You were saying earlier, we're supposed to be proficient in our slaughtering. That's why the blade should be sharp to lessen any suffering of the animal. We're supposed to do it in a humane way.
Animal rights.
And that's why the animal shouldn't see other animals or smell their blood.
Yes.
Because it may frighten the animal, and it can cause an issue with the meat itself.
Right.
It cause the adrenaline to flow in the animal out of fear.
And that also can affect the actual taste and the tenderness of the food.
Exactly.
SubhanAllah. And even the health of the food. You know what I mean? Because if that blood is stored in there without coming out accordingly, and at the moment of death of the animal, then that taste and the tenderness is not going to be right. You know what I mean? And that's very important for us to understand, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and knows exactly what we need, knows exactly what our bodies need. Of course, we do need, we eat meat and we eat vegetables and stuff like that. But subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the ways, just like we always talked about how, the guidelines and the rules of living is all in the Quran from A to Z. You know what I mean? We mentioned hunting. Hunting, there's also proper ways of hunting. You can't just kill the animal, wait for it for like the next day and go pick it up and eat it. No, you can't do that. There's ways of hunting. Also, you have to say Bismillah when you're hunting, whether it's the bow and arrow or whether you're shooting it with the gun. And another thing is on the table itself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's messenger gave us rules and regulations of how to eat in the plate. The Prophet ﷺ told one of the Sahaba or the companions that when you eat, say Bismillah first of all. And once you say Bismillah, you start eating from right in front of you. You don't reach out to the person next to you, because usually when you're eating with people, you're eating in maybe a bigger plate or something. So you reach out in front of you and you eat from in front of you, and try to be, clean about it. Don't, throw food everywhere. Don't waste. Don't be wasteful. That's also another important thing from Islam. Those are rules that have been set, you know, way before culinary arts schools were mentioned and even brought to existence. You know what I'm saying? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us rules to this life, to the way we eat, to the way we practice everyday things. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Also, do not be wasteful. The Prophet ﷺ gave us a direct healing or a direct cure to all problems that we see today, subhanAllah. One of the biggest problems of today is obesity, being fat. With all due respect to all my fat people and friends, being fat is a reason for, I'm not going to say 99% of diseases out there, but it's a reason for a lot of diseases out there. You know, diabetes, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff. Professionals know about this more than we do. But we'll get back to you right after we listen to a word from one of our sponsors. Inshallah, just 1 minute. Go ahead.
This show is brought to you by Air Duct.
Now I hear that. Now I hear that. I can't hear nothing here. But this is feeding feeding the computer.
To schedule an appointment, call 888-948. That's 888-948-DUCT. Available 24/7. Find us online at www.airductclean.com. Air Duct Clean. We clean it, clean.
All right, we're back. So let's talk about diseases and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's messenger. There we go. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's messenger taught us how to eat in different portions of your meal. How much can you eat and can't you eat? You know what I mean?
Like for instance, we eat like in threes. Well, 1/3 of what we take in should be air.
Mm-hmm.
Another third should be water, and the other third should be a portion of food.
Mm-hmm.
And the stomach of the believer, the non-believer eats with 7 stomachs.
Allahu Akbar.
And the stomach of the believer, we eat with 1 stomach.
Yes, sir. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a way of eating. 1/3 of your stomach should be just for food, and then the other third for water, and then the other third for air. So it doesn't mean that when you're sitting there and then you're about to eat your meal that you keep stuffing yourself up until there's no place for you to breathe. This is where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was looking out for us, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to tell us this. This is all for our health, for our sake, as Muslims. As Muslims and as human beings. As a non-Muslim, if you're listening or if you're watching, try this. Try this for a month. Eat 1/3 of your stomach food, the 1/3 of your stomach, the other 1/3 just keep it for water, and the other 1/3 keep it for air. And tell me how that feels. Tell me how that feels. I know I'm not doing it perfectly. I know maybe Brother Sabree ain't doing it perfectly. Nobody's perfect. We need to practice this. I promise. We need to practice this, because what the Prophet Muhammad has taught us is perfect for us. The teachings is perfect. All we have to do is try it out and implement it. Also, fasting. The Prophet ﷺ gave us that. SubhanAllah, there's a lot of studies today that tell you fasting is one of the best cures for a lot of diseases out there. We fast 30 days throughout the year. Perfect. But we do have a problem within the community of people who fast. What is that problem? Okay, what do you see in that issue?
Overeating.
Overeating, huh?
Overeating. That's the time we're really supposed to abstain from overeating, if any time.
Yeah.
Lavish overeating.
Mm-hmm. And that's a problem. This problem exists in our community, as problems exist in every community out there. We are recommended to eat. Actually, we commanded to eat, to fast. Let's say the holy month of Ramadan. But a lot of people misunderstand the reason. reason for the fasting. We do the fasting for issues such as, having patience and being able to withhold from things that are desirable, and at the same time, healing ourselves. But then we come back and it kind of fire back at us, where we come back after sunset and we eat our life out, and then we're sitting there like, oh man, I ate too much, huh?
Can hardly stand for
Can't understand what that are we, man. It's crazy, and this is very unfortunate. But the rule is perfect. The rule is perfect. We gotta eat. We eat early in the morning, a small portion, and then we stay up the entire day. Do your work, do your thing throughout the day, and then in the evening, after sunset, you have your meal. You eat again, third, and then you go and pray and go to sleep, and then wake up again and do that small portion until the 30 days are done. And they say, with all these experiments and all these studies that's happening today, they say that's like the best way of living. If you want to try it, go ahead and try it and see what do you have to lose. If you get hungry, you're gonna eat later on in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, what is the best thing that you like about being as a chef? In your experience with people and stuff like that. You did this for almost your 40 years, or less than that?
Less than that.
Okay. What is the best thing that, within 4 minutes that we have? We want to hear you out. Just let us, what is the best thing in being a chef?
To being able to manipulate the food, create different things, and always being challenged with developing something that suits people's taste.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
When it comes to the satisfying a person's taste.
Right.
And being challenged with preparing food for other cultures.
Other
groups of people,
Okay. So you actually do food for all different types of cultures, huh?
Right, yeah.
Arabic food, Indian food, African food, American food, Chinese, no Chinese?
Chinese too.
You do Chinese, mashallah, Allah barik. That's the man right there. Allah barik, jazakallah khair. That's amazing, man. I think, and this is what people also need to understand. Working in this kind of environment requires you to know the tastes of people, to be able to please them, not please them specifically, but being able to do your job in a perfection. You know what I mean? In a perfect way, as much as possible. Because you have to keep in mind that you got to keep things halal. You got to keep things healthy. You got to make sure that the taste is right and all that stuff. So there's a lot of tasting and testing.
The appearance as well.
Oh, the appearance.
There's people basically, well, no matter what their nationality or culture, people eat with their eyes. You got to make things appeasing. It's got to look good before they.
Yeah, they say the eye eats first.
That's right. That's right.
And one advice I make: if you're hungry, be careful. Don't over order, huh? Because usually people, when they're hungry, they over order, especially when they see things like this looking good. They'll be like, yo, I want 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these. I'm going to eat them all. And you're like halfway through them and you like can't breathe anymore. You know what I'm saying? So alhamdulillah, we don't have much time to go. 30 minutes go by so quick. Allah musta'an. We do want to recommend these pies. You can holler at Baba at 313. This is
2247.
Oh, 247-7391. Okay, so you heard it right. Inshallah, we'll leave the information down in the description. Get your pies, get right, take care of your people, and look up more information about how Islam commands eating, because eating in Islam is the healthiest way of eating. And at 30 seconds, all I have to say is thank you very much for being with us. Thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you know anybody that like this type of show, please let them know. Share the information. If you know people that like pies, let them know about these pies, inshallah. We thank Brother Sabree for being with us. We'll be back here, inshallah, tomorrow. Another day, another show. Get prepared. We'll see you, inshallah, tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.
Thank you for choosing 1440 AM WMK